Welcome to the guided practice for drawing conclusions. When drawing conclusions, you have to ask yourself, what did I read? What do I already know about what I read? Here are some clues for drawing conclusions. You use your personal knowledge and experience in clues in the text. If your answer is in the text, then it's explicit information. If you had to think for the answer, then you are drawing a conclusion. Let's look at 3 different scenarios and draw conclusions. Scenario number 1. You are walking down the street and you see smoke coming out the windows of a house. You hear a fire alarm going off. 1 minute later, you see people running out of the house. What is your conclusion? If you said you think that the house might be on fire, you are correct. Let's look at the clues in the text that helped you draw that conclusion. The first clue was that there was smoke coming out of the windows of the house. The next clue was that the fire alarm was going off. And the last clue is that people were running out of the house. Using your personal knowledge and experience and the clues from the text help you draw that conclusion. Scenario number 2. Your mom walks into the house after a long day at work. She lets out a big sigh and drops her keys on the counter. She then walks to the couch and plops herself down and says, "Finally." What is your conclusion? If you said you think that your mom is very tired and probably had a bad day at work, you are right. Let's look at the clues in the text that helped you draw the conclusion. The first clue was that the author said a long day at work. The next clue is that your mom let out a big sigh and then drops her keys on the counter. And the last clue, she plops herself down on the couch and says, "Finally." Using your personal experience and knowledge and the clues in the text help you draw the conclusion. Now let's read scenario 3. You have a substitute teacher. As the day goes on, your class starts to act up more and more. They are constantly talking over the teacher and fooling around. They are also not completing their work. You notice the teacher turning red in the face and starting to breathe heavy. He also slams the book you were reading on the desk. What is your conclusion? If you said you think that the substitute teacher is very angry, you are right. Let's look at the clues in the text that helped you draw the conclusion. The first clue the author gave you is that the teacher was turning red in the face. The next clue is that he was breathing heavy. And the last one is that he slams the book you were reading on the desk. Using your personal knowledge and experience and the clues in the text help you draw the conclusion. Here's the graphic organizer for drawing conclusions. When you draw conclusions, you use your personal knowledge and experiences, and you also look for clue words in the text that shows what the author is implying. You will notice that there's a line for the book title. There are 3 boxes for clues and 3 boxes for the conclusion. We'll start filling out the graphic organizer by putting the title on the top line. We read scenario 1, 2, and 3. Let's use this first box for scenario number 1. In scenario number 1, the clues in the text were smoke coming out the windows, fire alarm, and people running. Now we'll follow the arrow to fill out the conclusion box. We concluded the house is on fire. Now we'll use the second box for scenario number 2. The clues in scenario number 2 were a long day at work, sighs, drops keys, plops on the couch, and says finally. Now we'll just follow the arrow to the conclusion box. The conclusion was, Mom is very tired. And now for scenario number 3. The clues in the text were red in the face, breathe heavy, and slams the book on the desk. Now we'll move to this side. The conclusion was that the teacher was very angry. That's how you complete the graphic organizer for drawing conclusions. Feel free to go back to the website, choose another story to read, and fill out the graphic organizer by yourself.